Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Rico and I appreciate you guys watching this. This is the box talk, and I want to clarify something from the first video I made. I know I said the WBC belt was on the line, but in fact it was rather the IBF title belt. So when I saw Andre Ward's corner raise up the IBF belt, I said, oh shit, I made a mistake. So I just want to clarify for those of you that appreciate facts, because I appreciate facts. Back to the fight. So the weigh-in happened, and I heard about the weigh-in because I wasn't there to see it. I heard that Edwin Rodriguez failed to make weight by 2 pounds, and those 2 pounds each had a fine of $100,000. So in total it was $200,000 he had to pay to Andre Ward out of his $1 million purse, which Andre Ward gave Edwin. And the thing about failing to make weight in boxing is that it's very frowned upon. If you fail to make weight, two things can happen. If you're a champion, you have to vacate your title belt, and second thing is you have to pay a sum of money to your opponent. And it's a rather large sum amount of money, especially if you're in the pay-per-view field. So it's very frowned upon to not make weight. It's not to say that you don't get the chance to go backstage and lose the pounds that you need to lose. Some people manage to and some people don't. Like Brandon Rios at one point when he was fighting lightweight, he failed to make weight, so he had to vacate his title belt and pay his opponent a lot of money. And that happened to be his last fight at lightweight. Because he was basically growing, his body was developing more and more. He had to move up to welterweight, which is why now he's fighting Manny Pacquiao. But back to Edwin Rodriguez, he failed to make weight. Regardless, the fight still happened, so the two of them went to California. So the thing about Andre Ward is that he's obviously the favorite. He's the hometown favorite, and he's the Las Vegas favorite. And Edwin's the underdog. And the thing about underdog is that it's great. I mean, it's a title that you get the chance to prove yourself, and if you pull it off, you just get much more notoriety. You get much more respect. It's tough against Andre Ward because he's already #2 pound for pound best fighter in the world. Truth is about fighting somebody like Andre Ward is that I tune in because I want to see something spectacular happen. I either want to see a dominant fight just like Chad Dawson versus Andre Ward. I want to see Andre Ward either dominate the fight, not have a I don't want to say boring, but like basically like typical Andre Ward fight. I want to see something you could say was spectacular of the evening. You saw the fight. You could say, wow, I saw this guy dominate the other guy clearly. And the thing about Floyd Mayweather as well is that when I tune in to watch Floyd Mayweather fight, I already know how Floyd Mayweather fights sometimes. If he fights some guy like Robert Guerrero, I want to see Floyd Mayweather either dominate him or I want to see an upset. Maybe this could be it. And it hasn't happened so far. I think about Floyd Mayweather, he's such a brilliant fighter, and a lot of people say he's boring, but the thing is, I don't consider him boring. I just think he's a very dominant fighter. If you want to see somebody just dominate, tune into an Andre Ward fight or a Floyd Mayweather fight. And they're smart boxers. The thing about boxing is that it's hit and not be hit. So when you call them boring, you're basically calling boxing boring. I'm the type of guy that appreciates every type of fight. I appreciate fights from Mickey Ward versus Arturo Gatti all the way to Nunez Donaire versus Guillermo Rigondeaux. The thing about Mickey Ward versus Arturo Gatti is that in that fight, defense was basically lacked the entire time. They just wanted to give you a show, basically. They were fighting to win, don't get me wrong, but they just forgot to keep their hands up, and they were just trying to kill each other. Then you got Nunez Donaire versus Guillermo Rigondeaux, where they had in mind hit and not be hit. So it was a very intense chess match between the two, and I found that fight exciting. I know HBO doesn't have that many highlights from that fight, but regardless, it was still an exciting fight. So back to the Andre Ward versus Edwin. Edwin came and meant to make Andre fight his fight. That was basically the only chance he had, in my opinion, was to try and get Andre out of his comfort zone. Andre is definitely a very smart fighter, a very superior boxing knowledge type of fighter. He has better footwork and everything. I mean, he can pull off shots that you just don't expect. And when the bell rang, I remember Edwin ran across the ring and feinted and then took Andre to the ropes. And I thought that was a smart idea. Roy Jones thought that was a smart idea as well. Thing is, Andre started doing what Edwin expected, which was inside fighting. What he didn't expect was that Andre is pretty well adapted to inside fighting, and it could have been his forte, you could say, because he started connecting, he was duking it out. He's physically very strong, he realized. The thing about Andre too is that he's a very smart fighter. I mean, if you look at his face, you don't see much expression, especially when you're fighting. And Andre and Edwin obviously had a grudge match going on. They were pretty pissed off at each other, and they were pretty much fighting like a they were not fighting a street match. Well, Edwin was fighting a street fight, and Andre was boxing. So Andre took advantage of the whole "I'm pissed off at you, I'm gonna kick your ass" sort of attitude Edwin had on him. Andre kept stopping Edwin with the power jab, and the thing about the power jab, which Roy Jones did explain pretty well, was that it stops you in your track. If you have a combination in mind, it completely erases it from your head, and you just don't manage to pull it off. I think it's a very hard punch to pull off. Andre is very well adapted. He compliments to him that he was able to pull it off almost every round, and Edwin Rodriguez, he just didn't have an answer for that sort of thing. Regardless, the fight was very exciting. It even got to the point where the two of them started having a little bit of a tussle going on in the middle of the ring, and the ref tried to get in there and stop it, but he said that he got hit when he was trying to separate the two of them. Edwin had Andre in a headlock, and Andre kept throwing punches, and then the ref got in the middle of them and tried to separate them, got hit, he says, and he had to put both of them in their corners and went to the judges and said, "I'm going to fine the both of them. You guys determine how much, and I'm going to deduct 2 points from each fighter." I was wondering, what difference does that make? It just makes the fight the same as it were no penalties. But the thing is, it's sort of smart, I'm going to admit, because if you think about it, 2 points is something I've never seen deducted from a fighter at once, and it makes it pretty serious. You know, if you get deducted another time, it'll be 3 points, and possibly you're facing disqualification, which will mean you lose your whole purse. So none of these guys wanted to lose the money they were fighting for, and that pretty much strained them out. And the thing about boxing is, it's exciting. I mean, when you see these sort of things going on, you see people getting rough in the ring, sort of like a fight within a fight. But the thing is, you gotta respect sports. You gotta still have rules and regulations. That's what the ref is there. So the ref actually did a very good job. I think he did his job. I think he merits another opportunity to ref another big fight such as this one. So even though he was being sort of a pussy and like accusing them of hitting him, he still straightened things out and got the fight done. So Andre, you know, he dominated the fight. He was clearly the better point fighter. Edwin showed so much heart. And the thing about Edwin is, they were saying he didn't go down because he came in overweight, so it was basically a light heavyweight versus super middleweight, and Andre was able to deliver knockout blows that didn't drop him because Edwin was weighing well over the limit. But I feel that Edwin's chin is just really what it is, you know, it's granite. So Andre was having a hard time dropping the guy, and he had some nice accurate shots to the chin, like a couple left hooks that Edwin just didn't expect, and he just clapped his hands and just wanted some more, it seemed. And I think that's great. I mean, that's sort of mentality going on too when it comes to a fight. You have to tell your opponent, "You're not hurting me," and then your opponent starts wondering, "Hey, how the hell do I end up hurting this guy?" And that can also be part of the game. You know, that's a nice strategy to use. Andre just, you know, he's been there, done that, so he's very well accustomed. He's a veteran. Thing about this fight is that Edwin definitely proved himself. He's respected. Roy Jones respected him. Everybody thought this was a great fight. It was a little bit very early for Edwin to, not a little bit very, I mean, it was very early for Edwin to take this fight, I think, against the #2 pound for pound best fighter in the world. Edwin's not even ranked in the top 10 yet, you know, so I think Edwin really took right now the fight in order to just gain notoriety quick and expose himself to HBO. So Edwin really made us proud here in Massachusetts. Andre demonstrated his skills. He showed that his busted rotator cuff from before didn't affect his performance right now. He doesn't show any sign of ring rust. He's still in the game. And I think Edwin deserves another chance from HBO to demonstrate his skills and abilities. So I think the fight was excellent. I think it was exciting. It got me motivated. I think both of them deserves their purse. I hope they didn't get too much fine out of their purse. So in the end, it was a great night, and I hope you guys get to see the replay if you didn't see it, and, you know, judge for yourself. I think the decisions from the judges were finally accurate for once and fair. I think 12 for Ward, 0 for Edwin was pretty fair decision, you know. So again, you guys, check the fight out if you haven't seen it. And thanks for stopping by and watching my video. Thanks for the view. Appreciate you like it, and comment if you have anything to say. So God bless. Good night.